Hi, this video is brought to you by trimbender.com, and in this video we're going to explain how to install fascia on a hip and a gable roof. This side here is basically the hip roof. It's just showing the fascia meeting up straight at a 90-degree angle, and the opposite side here is the gable, where it's coming down at roughly a 30-degree angle, meeting up with the front fascia. The first thing we're going to start off with is put in a piece of flashing across the front. This is a 2x3 flashing. We offer it up to a 3x3. So if you're installing gutters, you got some extra room with 3 inches hanging down. So the first thing you want to do is cut it to length. Just make it even on one side, mark it on the other side, and you can just cut this section off. And now I just checked to make sure that the length was correct. Now I'm going to put a couple nails in it. If you have shingles already on the house too, you slide it up underneath the shingles and it basically is going to hold it in place. And then if you can, also just, tack a couple nails every few feet. Okay, now that the flashing's installed, we're going to go ahead and start on the gable side. We're going to do both sides first and then put the front piece on so we can cover the corners. Now the gable piece is a little trickier. What you want to do is line it up so that the bottom edge, the bottom lip, comes up flush with the front. And then we're going to notch back about 3/4 of an inch on the inside. Just put a notch and then you can bend a little flap up. And that basically, when you put the piece back up, it's going to be flat against the front fascia. And now in this piece, what you want to do is notch off the little corner. By notching it out, it's going to allow you to bend a little tab up to cover the little gap on the side. It's kind of tricky. You might want to try practicing with a piece first. See, it's got that little tab that I bend up, and then bend the piece back up that I first bent. So it kind of looks like so. Now I'm going to put the piece in there, and I'm going to fold over that angle part. Once you get a rough kind of bend on it, take it off, and then kind of get the best 90 degrees as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect because the front fascia is actually going to cover this whole section. So and now remember, when also doing gable fascia, you want to start from the bottom and work your way up so that each piece overlaps, and when water runs, it runs over the next piece on its way down. And you probably want to nail it every 36 inches. Now that that's done, we're going to move on over to the hip roof area. This is basically just 2 pieces of fascia meeting up at a corner. Sorry for the bad lighting, but you can kind of see. What you basically do is just take an inch and notch it off of the bottom section completely. Basically, so your piece is going to look like that. And then put it back up there and line up the bottom edge with the edge of the fascia so you can bend that tab over like that. And again, get the best 90 degree that you can. It should look like so. And slide the piece underneath the flashing. And we're just going to put one nail. Don't nail the corners yet, because actually when the front pieces go on, that's when you're going to nail the corners. Okay, that's the side piece on. Now we're going to go ahead and do the front piece of the fascia. Basically what you're going to do is slide it up on. You don't actually have to go under the flashing to get a measurement. But you slide it tight on one edge, like so. Go over to the other edge. And mark right on the edge. Then you can look underneath too and also see where it's going to end. Then take the piece back off. And now we're going to completely cut off that end. You can mark it with a straight edge if you want. I'm pretty used to cutting it, so I can cut a pretty straight line. Now slide the piece back up underneath the flashing. And make sure each line is lined up equal. It should pretty much look like that. Now I'm going to nail the corners. And this is pretty much going to secure both pieces together, which will give it a pretty clean look. You can tap the edges down a little bit and make it a little smoother looking. Then I'll go ahead and put one in the middle here. Like I said, you probably want to go every 36 inches. If you start going closer, you'll get a ripple effect. And never over nail it either. Just snug it up. Then I'll put one more nail in the corner. And there you have it. That's how to install fascia on a hip and gable roof tucked underneath flashing. Thanks for viewing the video, and if you have any other questions or need any more trim, visit us at trimbender.com. Thanks.